When he had spoken thus, the four great kings said this to the Tathagata: Suppose a certain being becomes king of humans. With such devotion to the Dharma, should he listen to this king of glorious Sutra, the sublime golden light, and likewise respect, revere, venerate, and worship bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who uphold this king of glorious Sutra, the sublime golden light. Should he thoroughly sweep and cleanse his palace for the sake of us, the four great kings, sprinkle it with various perfumed waters, and hear the Dharma along with us four great kings, and then for his own sake and for the sake of all gods, should he give away a little share of merit's roots, and then, Venerable Transcendent Victor, for the sake of us, the four great kings, as soon as the bhikshu who expounds the Dharma takes his Dharma seat, he will light various fragrant incense. Venerable Transcendent Victor, as soon as perfumed incenses are lit for the purpose of worshiping this King of Glorious Sutra, the sublime golden light, vines having various fragrance and perfumes will issue forth. In that instant, second, and moment, in the sky above us four great kings, there will emerge umbrellas made of vines of various incenses and perfume. Tremendous fragrances of perfumes will be sensed. Light like that of gold will arise, and this light will illuminate our dwelling. Venerable Transcendent Victor, in that instant, second, and moment, the vines of incense and perfume will appear in the sky above the dwelling of Brahma, Lord of the fearless world, Indra, king of the gods, the great goddess Sarasvati, the great goddess Dirda, the great goddess Shri, Shamjanaya, the great general Yaksha, along with the 28 generals of Yakshas, Maheshvara, the divine son, Vajrapani, the great general of Yakshas, Manibhadra, the great general of Yakshas, Hariti, with her retinue of 500 sons, Anavatapta, the king of Naga, and Sagara, the great king of Nagas. The umbrella of various incenses and perfumes will remain afloat in their dwelling. Exorbitant fragrance of perfumes will be sensed. Golden light will flood their abodes, and these lights will illuminate all their dwellings. When they had said this to him, the Tathagata replied in this way to the four great kings: O great kings, it is not just that the umbrellas made of vines of various incenses and perfumes will arise in the sky above the dwellings of the four great kings alone. Why? It is also because, O great kings, as soon as that king of humans lights various incense in order to worship the King of Glorious Sutra, the sublime golden light, vines of those various incenses and perfumes will appear from the single stick of incense that he holds in his hand. Then, at that moment, second and moment, the entire triple thousand, great thousand world system, in which there exist 1,000 million moons, 1,000 million suns, 1,000 million great ocean, 1,000 million Simarus, the king of mountains, 1,000 million Chakravatas and Mahachakravatas, the king of mountains, 1,000 million world systems of the four continents, 1,000 million gods in the class of the four great kings, 1,000 million gods of the 33rd abode of the desire realms, 1,000 million gods of neither awareness nor non-awareness of the formless realms, and in the abodes of 1,000 million gods of the 33, and all these triple thousand great thousand world systems, and in the sky above represented respective dwellings of the assemblies of gods, Nagas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, Asuras, Garudas, Kanaras, and Maharagas, the vines of various incenses and perfumes will float. Those beings will smell fragrances of exalted perfumes. Golden light will flood their divine dwellings and illuminate them. O great king, in this way, just as in the sky above the divine dwellings of the triple great thousand world system, those vines of incense and perfume will abide as umbrellas. As soon as the King of Human lights various instances in order to worship the King of Glorious Sutra, the Sublime Golden Light, by the power of the King of Glorious Sutra, the Divine Golden Light, there will appear vines of various instances in perfume. At that instant, second, a moment, on all sides in the 10 directions, and in numerous world systems, as many as hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddha fields equaling grains of sands of the river Ganges, and in the sky above, as many hundreds of thousands of millions of Tathagatas equaling the grains of sand in the river Ganges. Umbrellas made of vines of various incenses and perfumes will appear. These will smell profusely as incense and perfumes. For the hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddhas, there will be golden light, and that light will illuminate as many hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddha fields equaling the grains of sands in the river Ganges. O great kings, as soon as these miracles have taken place, then as many hundreds of thousands of millions of Tathagatas as there are grains of sands in the river Ganges will recognize that expounder of the Dharma. They will congratulate him. Excellent, excellent, O sublime being. It is most marvelous that you, a sublime being, wish to preach extensively the great features of the King of Glorious Sutra, the Sublime Golden Light, which is possessed of inconceivable qualities, such as illumination on the profound. If even those beings who hear the King of Glorious Sutra, the Sublime Golden Light, will have no lesser roots of virtue, what need is there to say that those who take it up, hold it, recite it, understand it, and expound it extensively in the assembly will sow great roots of virtue? Why? Because, O sublime being, as soon as they hear the King of Glorious Sutra, the Sublime Golden Light, numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of bodhisattvas will advance irreversibly to peerless perfect enlightenment. Then hundreds of thousands of millions of Tathagatas residing in their respective Buddha fields in all the 10 directions, and hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddha fields, as numerous as the grains of sand in the Ganges, with one word, one voice, one sound, proclaim to the preaching bhikshu seated on the Dharma seat. O sublime being, in the future you will advance to the final state of enlightenment. O sublime being, having gone to the supremely sublime essence of enlightenment, and sitting at the foot of the King of Trees, you will display transcendence over the triple realm. You will display numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of austere deeds, awe-inspiring in the triple worlds, surpassing those of all beings. O sublime beings, you will thoroughly glorify the essence of enlightenment. O sublime being, you will thoroughly save the triple thousand world system. O sublime being, sitting at the foot of the King of Trees, you will triumph over the inconceivable armies of Mara, which display the most terrifying, repulsive forms in various hideous appearance. O sublime being, having gone to the supremely sublime essence of enlightenment, you will attain the complete state of enlightenment, which is peerless, perfect, and consummate, incomparable, utterly serene, without dust, and profound. O sublime being, seated upon the immutable Vajra seat, you will turn the wheel of the Dharma, which is praised by all holders of the Dharma wheel to be 12-fold, supremely profound. O sublime being, you will beat the supreme drum of the Dharma. O sublime being, you will sound the supreme conch of the Dharma. O sublime being, you will hoist the great banner of the Dharma. O sublime being, you will light the supreme torch of the Dharma. O sublime being, you will reign the supreme reign of Dharma. O sublime being, you will be victorious over numerous thousands of afflictions. O sublime beings, you will free numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of sentient beings from the terrifying ocean of fear. O sublime being, you will free hundreds of thousands of millions of sentient beings from the wills of cyclic existence. O sublime being, you will please hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddhas. As he spoke thus, the 4 great kings replied to the Tathagata, Venerable transcendent victor, upon seeing that King of humans who perceived the King of Glorious Sutra, the Sublime Golden Light, has such qualities as these in the present and future lives, that he will generate roots of virtue under hundreds of thousands of Buddhas and thoroughly hold incalculable stocks of merit. Then out of compassion, venerable transcendent victor, we the four great kings, along with our armies and retinues and numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, while in our own respective dwelling, as soon as we have been encouraged by the umbrellas made of vine and incense and perfume, will render our bodies invisible and go to the palace of that king of humans and listen to the Dharma, the palace built by the king of humans, which is well swept and clean, sprinkled with water of various perfumes and exquisitely adorned with various ornaments. Brahma, lord of the fearless world, Indra, king of the gods, the great goddess Sarasvati, the great goddess Dirda, the great goddess Shri, Samjanaya, the great general of Yakshas, along with 28 generals of Yakshas, Maheshvara, the divine son, Vajrapani, the great general of Yakshas, Mani Bhadra, the great general of the Yakshas, Hariti, with her retinue of 500 sons, Anavatapta, king of the Nagas, Sagara, the great king of the Nagas, and numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of gods and goddesses will all make their bodies invisible and approach the palace of the king of humans, which is well adorned, and where on the flower-strewn grounds is set up for the expounder of the Dharma, a high seat, well decorated with various ornaments. Venerable transcendent victor, we the four great kings, along with our armies and retinues, including numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas, will be agreeable to the king. As soon as we have been satiated with the nectar juice of the Dharma by the king of humans, who assists in virtue, causes beings to receive virtue, and bestows the supreme generosity of peerless Dharma, we will fully protect that human king. We will save, guide, care for, and ensure peace and happiness for him. We will also protect his palace, cities, regions. We will save, guard, look after, ensure peace and happiness, and avert retribution for beings in these palaces, in these places. We will ensure that region is free of all threats, harms, contagious disease, and conflicts. Venerable transcendent victor, suppose a certain being becomes a king of humans, and in the land of this king of humans there exists a king of glorious Sutra, the sublime golden light. Venerable transcendent victor, if that king of human does not respect, revere, venerate, and worship bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas who uphold the king of glorious Sutra, the sublime golden light, then he will not satisfy us four kings, our numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of yakshas, with the hearing of the Dharma and the nectar juice of the Dharma. He will not venerate us. These divine bodies of ours will not increase in majesty. Our perseverance, might, and power will not be enhanced. Majesty, glory, and excellence will not increase in our body. Venerable transcendent victor, we four great kings, along with our armies and retinues and numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of yakshas, will neglect the land. Venerable transcendent victor, when we neglect the land, then all the assembly of gods and goddesses who dwell in the land will also neglect the land. Venerable transcendent victor, when the gods and goddesses discard the land, there will be various conflicts in the land. There will be fierce disputes among kings. All beings living in the land will become quarrelsome, accusatory, and contentious. They will be divided and ruined. The land will experience various illness and unfavorable planets. Comets will fall from various directions. Planets and stars will become hostile with one another. The moonrise at night will seem like the rising of the sun. There will be lunar and solar eclipses. Even the sun and moon in the sky will be attacked continuously by Rahu. From time to time, halos the color of rainbow will appear in the sky. There will be earthquakes. The wells in the ground will be hollow with sound. Gale force winds will blow in the land. There will be torrential rainfall. There will be desolate famines in the land. Rival armies will crush the land. The land will be filled with swarms of bees. Beings will experience rampant afflictions. The land will become most unpleasant. Venerable transcendent victor, when we four great kings, along with our armies, retinues, numerous hundreds of thousands of yakshas and nagas who live in the land, and gods and goddesses all ignore it, there will arise hundreds of these and similar harms and thousands of harms in that land.